Hello, David.
Hi, Vivian.
Great to have you here today. How are you
Thank you very
doing?
much. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Time flies. It has been almost 2 years after you graduated from the bootcamp. Congratulations on your recent
Exactly.
promotion to be a data science manager now.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you
super
very
happy for
much.
you
I
here.
owe a lot. I owe a lot of it to your program, so thank you.
It's all your hard work. We're glad to be part of your journey. So
Thank you.
I want to introduce your company and the industry to our audience. So let me ask you some basic question about your company, like how
Sure.
many employee and how much growth you have seen in this space, especially in a fantasy sports industry.
Sure. So I don't have the number of employees offhand, but I can tell you that the growth is absolutely massive. It's kind of hard to keep track with the employee growth with what we've seen over the last year, especially a year or 2 years. So in general, our company, so FanDuel Group is a sports-focused technology company. We started with daily fantasy sports in 2010, and most recently in 2018, sports betting was legalized at a federal level. So we jumped right into that space as soon as we could. And it gets legalized at a state by state level. So when I started in July 2019, we were legal in just becoming legal in our second state for online sports betting, which was Pennsylvania. Now we're legal in 10 states. So you can see it's obviously massive growth. I think by the end of next year, we might be looking at 20 states. It's hard to tell, but in general, the growth is absolutely huge. The other products that we have also are online casino and horse racing. So there's a lot of commonality across our products in terms of users are interested in all of them, and there's a lot of cross-selling across the products.
That sounds fantastic. I saw from a website for sports betting, you are available for 10 states. For daily fantasy, it's available for 44 states, and horse racing is available for 22 states.
Correct.
Is
Correct.
that correct?
Correct. And online casino,
Wow.
online casino, I believe is 4 states now as well.
I see. I read from the Wikipedia. In Nevada state alone, last year there was over 4 billion betting transaction happened. So I can only imagine how big the operation is now.
Yeah, exactly. So Nevada kind of operates a little separately than the legal players that have come onto the space since 2018. But in general, the opportunity is absolutely massive. This is an industry that in sports betting that was, underground and kind of done offshore and through other channels since the beginning of time. And now since 2018, the opportunities are just popping up in each state. And we're seeing the demand that's there. And people just want to interact with sports and kind of entertain themselves and have fun with it. And they weren't able to do so in a legal way in the US until a few years ago. So it's a really exciting time to be at FanDuel.
I think pandemic probably helped with the expansion of your business. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there's definitely some interesting tailwinds that came from the pandemic. So a lot of states are facing a bit more of a budget deficit now. And with sports betting, it's a pretty big revenue driver. So I think the more states that prove out that this works and that we can operate in a responsible way and in a proper, efficient way, then more states will come on board because they can make a lot of money from this in terms of revenue. And quite frankly, they needed a bit more today than they might have a year or two ago.
I see. Well, how can someone new to this field start to utilize your service as a client? Would you mind give us a quick crash course?
Yeah, sure. So I can show a quick demo of our daily fantasy product. So for sports betting, you actually have to be in a legal state, and the closest legal states to New York are New Jersey and Pennsylvania. But I'm in New York right now, so I can't actually place a bet. I will say that you can create an account in any state, but in order to actually place the bet, your geolocation needs to be in the legal state. But I will show the daily fantasy product real quick. So this is the web version, and this was just a contest that I already participated in. But the way daily fantasy sports works is for any given day in any given sport, there are loads of contests at different dollar values, and you can enter a contest. And every single player in that contest, so this is a National Basketball League one. Every player in that contest is associated to a dollar amount, and so you can see, for example, Drew Holiday here was $5,900, and so your budget is $60,000, and that's obviously just play money. So you can enter a contest. Let's say it's a $1 contest, and you have to put together what you think will be your best team. Who will score the most points across your team? So this is the team that I put together. I didn't do so well. I came in 177th out of 445, but we tried. My best performer was James Harden, who had 78.5 points, but he was drafted in 34% of lineups. So a lot of people had him. So it's not like I differentiated so much by having him. It would have been a lot better if this guy, Jayshawn Tate, did better, because only 9% of lineups had him and he didn't score so well. So it didn't help me. But if he did do well, it would have helped me a lot. So this is just a quick example of kind of how our daily fantasy sports product works. And sports betting is more just like betting on specific games or specific outcomes to happen in a game versus creating a lineup to compete against other people.
I don't know if you watched the movie called Moneyball. I feel like I can be the coach in the Moneyball on FanDuel website.
That's exactly the concept it is. And so it gives our customers the ability to kind of be the general manager of their own team and create what they think is the optimal team, given the budgeting, and the results speak in the long term. You see how you perform and you compete, and it's fun.
Wow. I also heard a lot of knowledge in your field. So I'm wondering if you can give some explanation, like what does daily fantasy mean? What does fantasy sports mean? What does a sports book mean? What does handle mean? I think those 4 words are really new concept. I would love to clarify to our audience.
Sure. So daily fantasy is what I just showed. So daily fantasy is, so there's been fantasy sports, which more people might be familiar with, which is you competing with your friends, or you can do a public league as well, in a season-long competition where you draft your team at the beginning of the season and you compete against each other throughout the season. You can trade players and you can pick up free agents throughout the year, but that's the basis of a season-long. And so daily fantasy is taking that concept and bringing it into daily sports. So you can pick every day, you can pick a sport and you can pick a dollar amount that you're comfortable with, and how, the tournament size, whether you want to play one-on-one or against a large tournament, and you can put together what you think is your best team for that day. So it just takes the macro concept of fantasy and it brings it into everyday life and just gives you more opportunities to interact with sports. So that's daily fantasy sports. Sports betting is betting on individual games. So like it's betting on individual games. There's millions of products and bet types that we have. But like the simplest form is like, let's say the Giants are playing the Eagles. We might say that the Giants are favored by 7 points. So you can bet on the Giants to win by 7 points or more for a dollar amount. You can also bet on the Eagles to lose by 7 points or less as a dollar amount. That's the simplest example of a bet. Just a regular bet. There'll also be like over-under bets. So the Giants are playing the Eagles. The estimated total points scored in the game is 45. You can bet on there to be over 45 points or under 45 points. In terms of what handle is, so handle is the dollars wagered by customers. So if we have 2 customers, myself and Vivian, and we each bet $100, the handle is $200. What we look at from there is what I'll call gross gaming revenue. So that's the profit or loss that the sportsbook makes on the handle. So it'll obviously be a percentage of the handle. So if we take $100 in bets and we make $5, we made $5 in gross gaming revenue, and it's a 5% margin. I think that covered your main ones. Was there one that I missed?
Yes. No, you cover all. I was
Cool.
asking daily fantasy, sports betting, fantasy sports, sports book, and handle. Thank you so much.
Cool.
So my
You're
last
welcome.
question for you is, as a data science manager, what are the things you're doing on a daily basis to help your company become successful, specifically in data science field?
Yeah. So as the analytics team for FanDuel Sportsbook, we pretty much act as internal consultants for the business. So we work directly with all the different stakeholders that touch the sportsbook business. So that's, we work very closely with the marketing team. I'd say that's at least a third of our interactions are probably with marketing, maybe half. We also work very closely with product, commercial, risk and trading, customer service, literally any part of the business that touches the sportsbook, we're helping as internal consultants. So we're running numbers for them and trying to produce insights to help the business and to help the business make decisions. The types of tools that we use to do that. So SQL is at the core of everything that we do. So whether it's something as simple as a list pull for marketing or a promotion forecast or a promotion analysis, that could be as simple as a quick SQL query, and kind of maybe some manipulation from there to get to your analysis. And then we also do machine learning modeling. So we do modeling pretty much all around the business, and we're always trying to expand this. So some examples are like predicting whether a customer will churn and when they will churn, retention, looking at the long-term value of customers and trying to predict what that is, are all examples of models. And then in terms of tools that we use, so like I said, SQL's at the core of it. Tools aside from that, we're pretty flexible for what the employee's most comfortable with. We use a lot of what's called NIME analytics. Other people use Python. R is encouraged. So it's really at the employee's discretion. We're a very flexible environment, and whatever is going to be the most efficient for that specific employee, we can work into the framework, and that will be optimal for us.
That's awesome. Do you feel like what you learned from the bootcamp directly benefit your work now?
Absolutely. 100%. I think the bootcamp was so crucial for setting me up for success in terms of the people that I met, the skills that I learned, the network, just the mindset. All those things were absolutely crucial from the program and really gave me a leg up in setting me up for success at FanDuel. And I think does the same for everyone that goes through the boot camp.
That's awesome. I know a few alumni is interviewing with you and hope to join your team soon. Hope we have good luck.
Yes, thank you. We actually, since I joined in 2019, we've had one other NYC data on the team. And like I said, when I started, I think I don't know if I said this, we were 4 people when I started in the group, and we're now 8, and we're expanding. So yeah, definitely going to be looking to continue to tap into the NYC data talent pool.
That's awesome. Really appreciate community members like yourself to keep giving us industry insights and continue help and grow the talents from us.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian.
Okay. Have a good day, David. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.